Do you want to know the fastest way to murder your own potential? It's not laziness, it's not a lack of funds. The quickest way to destroy every plan you have is talking about it. The moment you open your mouth to brag about your next move, you've already lost. You've just triggered envy in your enemies. You've just drained your own motivation. And worse, you've just handed a weapon to those who would sabotage you. Not because they are evil, but because of human nature. This isn't moral, it's social. Don't blame them, blame your mouth. But if you think the solution is simply to stitch your lips shut and become the awkward silent guy, you are still wrong. Forced silence only betrays your weakness. There is another way. A state of existence where you move through the crowd like a ghost, clearly present, yet impossible to grasp. A place where you don't need applause to know your plans have value. Listen closely. This is not fake coldness. This is not the arrogance of a narcissist. This is a shift in the center of gravity of your reality. Reclaiming total power from the outside and pulling it back within. In this video, we aren't learning cliché communication tips. We are going deep into your brain to dissect the biology. Why are you addicted to reporting your life to the world? I will show you how your instinct for connection is betraying your position. And most importantly, I will hand you Machiavelli's strategy of concealed intent, reinforced by the stability of Marcus Aurelius, not to deceive, but to become invulnerable, to achieve the freedom, wealth, and advancement that no one can block. But a warning before we begin. This knowledge demands a price. You must be ready to kill the inner child inside you, that weak part of you that craves to be understood, to be permitted, to be accepted. If you aren't ready to be misunderstood, turn this video off right now. But if you're still here, welcome to the reality zone. Let's be honest with ourselves. You know this man. Maybe. He is you from yesterday. He just had a massive idea. $1 million startup plan. A resolve to transform his body at the gym, or simply a commitment to learn a new language. The fire of passion burns in his chest. The feeling is intoxicating. And what is the first thing he does? He doesn't sit down at his desk. He doesn't lace up his running shoes. He picks up his phone. He seeks an audience. He tells his friends, his partner, or posts a status full of bravado on social media. He describes the vision of success in such detail that he can taste its sweetness. And the world replies, "Wow, that's great. You can totally do it. I admire you." He bathes in those compliments. He feels like he has already won. He goes to sleep, feeling like a champion. But the next morning, the euphoria is gone. The motivation has evaporated into thin air. The project never starts. Why does speaking killing your ability to act? Carl Jung spoke about how humans often confuse the symbol with the reality. But modern neuroscience gives us a more brutal truth. Your brain is easily tricked. When you state a goal and receive social validation, your brain releases dopamine, the reward hormone. The terrifying part is this. This amount of dopamine is identical to the dopamine you get when you actually complete the work. Shutterstock. You have hacked your own reward system. You took the paycheck before doing the job. You celebrated before the victory. This is a form of mental masturbation. You traded actual future achievement for a cheap, immediate hit of pleasure. When the brain thinks, I've been praised, the mission is accomplished, it immediately cuts the power supply to your effort. The darkness here isn't laziness. The darkness is addiction. You are addicted to the feeling of people admiring the fictional you that you painted, rather than enduring the pain to become that person in reality. Look at the Stoic emperors. Who did Marcus Aurelius write meditations for? For himself. No one was allowed to read it while he was alive. To a Stoic, words are not wind. Words are a debt. Every time you declare, "I'm going to do this," you have just taken out a loan against your own reputation. The world is cruel but fair. It doesn't pay you for what you intend to do. It only pays for what you have done. When you speak without acting, you don't just fail in results. You destroy your psychological structure. You are training your subconscious to believe. This guy's words carry no weight. He is a liar. Gradually, you lose self-respect. You become weak, not because someone hurt you, but because you made a habit of defaulting on debts to yourself. But Viktor Frankl, a survivor of the Nazi concentration camps, left us the key to escape this prison. He said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. The stimulus is the burning desire to brag, to have someone pat you on the back. Your old response is to open your mouth. But right now in this video, I am showing you that space. That is where your freedom lies. You have a choice. Continue to be a child, starving for attention, needing applause just to finish a meal, or cut off that need coldly. This is not suppression. This is mastery. Don't destroy the desire. Use it. When you want to tell someone about your plans, stop. Swallow those words back down. You will feel uncomfortable. You will feel agitated. Good. Keep that discomfort. That is your fuel. Don't release the pressure valve through speech. Compress it inside and let that pressure propel you into action. Learn to be starved for recognition. A hungry wolf is the best hunter. Now, step out of your head and look at the real battlefield. Let's meet the most common tragic figure in the office, the naive strategist. This is a smart man, capable, perhaps even visionary, but he suffers from a fatal disease. He believes that fair play is the default rule of the world. He believes colleagues are family. He believes partners are brothers. Drunk on connection, he opens up, "Hey, I just found a way to save 30% on operating costs. I plan to present it to the boss on Monday." The colleague nods, pats him on the shoulder. "Amazing, you're definitely getting that promotion." He smiles. He thinks he found an ally. He doesn't see the other guy's eyes. They aren't smiling. They are taking notes. Monday morning, the meeting begins. And he hears that familiar voice speak up. "Gentlemen, I have researched and found a solution to cut costs by 30%. Every sentence, every word, every number, exactly what he said at the bar. But this time they are spoken by someone else." The boss nods in satisfaction. The room applauds. The colleague turns to look at him. A slight smirk, so fast no one else sees it. The look of a winner glancing at a loser. He is shocked. His blood runs cold. He wants to stand up and scream, "That was my idea!" But he knows if he does, he will look like a jealous lunatic. He asks himself, "Why? I thought we were brothers." The answer is simple. Because that night he didn't just invite the enemy into his ammo depot. He was stupid enough to hand him the lighter. Carl Jung spent his life studying the shadow, the repressed part of the human personality. And here's the hardest truth about social relationships. You think your friends, family, and colleagues want you to succeed, maybe, but there is a silent condition. They never want you to succeed, too much more than them. View this through the lens of psychology, not bitterness. Your friends and family love you. That is real. They want you stable, safe, and happy. But there is an evolutionary mechanism deep in the human brain. Status, anxiety. Every social group operates on an implicit balance. When you announce a massive leap forward, whether in finance, physique, or career, you are unintentionally breaking that balance. When you excitedly tell them about future success, you think you are inspiring them. In reality, you are accidentally placing a mirror in front of them. That mirror does not reflect your joy. It reflects the dreams they abandon. It reflects the stagnation they are trying to ignore. Your shine, however unintentional, exposes the cracks in their confidence. And the natural human response to pain and self-esteem is not applause, it is defense. They will say, "That sounds risky, be realistic." That isn't malice. That is the brain trying to pull you back to earth, where they feel safe and not left behind. They don't want to drown you. They just don't want to face the pain of standing still. Therefore, keeping silent is not deceiving them. Keeping silent is an act of compassion. You protect your dream, and at the same time, protect them from unnecessary painful comparison. Niccolo Machiavelli, the master of statecraft, left an eternal warning for the naive, yet few truly understand it. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. Why did he consider concealing your substance the core of power? Because in this world, information is leverage. When you show others your substance, your desires, your plans, your weaknesses, do you think you are being sincere? No. You are handing them the handle of the knife while you hold the blade. You are drawing a treasure map and handing it directly to the predators. You are showing them exactly where to place the trap to take you down. The greatest weapon of the underdog is not talent, nor is it effort. The only weapon that helps you flip the board is the element of surprise. If you speak, you lose it. You don't die because you are weak. You die because you made yourself an easy target. At this point, the natural reaction of the weak is to complain. Why are people so evil? Why are friends so jealous? The world is unfair. Viktor Frankl, who witnessed the ultimate evil of humanity in Auschwitz, would slap you in the face if you uttered those words. He taught us, you cannot control if others hold a knife, but you are entirely responsible for whether you expose your back for them to stab. You had the choice of silence, but you chose to speak. You had the choice to conceal, but you chose to display. That isn't innocence. That is cowardice. Don't blame the scorpion for stinging you. That is its survival instinct. Blame yourself for being foolish enough to place the scorpion in the palm of your hand. If the fault belongs to you, then the power to fix it also belongs entirely to you. If you are the one who opened the city gates, then only you have the authority to lock them forever. Swallow this bitter pill. No one can hurt you if you don't give them the weapon. The moment you accept that everything is my fault, that is not self-punishment. That is the moment you reclaim your crown. Because if you are the cause, you are also the solution. Don't look for fairness, look for control, and true power lies not in taking a sword to conquer the world. True power is the ability to build a sanctum inside your mind where no one, I repeat, no one is allowed to step foot without your permission. Look at the laws of nature. Diamonds are only formed under a crushing pressure and in the absolute darkness of the earth. If you bring coal into the light too soon, it remains coal forever. A child needs 9 months in the darkness of the womb to form life. If you drag it into the light too soon, you kill it. Your plan is the same. Treat your vision as a state secret. Protect it with the ruthlessness of a king guarding his throne. Your silence from now on is not fear, it is incubation. It is the process of compressing energy, will, and pain into a single point. Do not let any prying eyes contaminate the purity of the goal while it is young. Do not let any judgment snap the sprouting sapling. Learn to love the solitude of the secret. In that darkness, you are not alone. You are with your internal power. Let them laugh when they see you silent. Let them look down on you when you seem to be doing nothing. Because when the gates of this fortress open, what steps out will not be an explanation. What steps out will be a result that cannot be denied. A presence that renders all words superfluous. That is how a sovereign mind constructs reality. Most people, when they hear the rule, conceal your intentions, make a fatal mistake. They think, so I'll stitch my mouth shut. I won't say anything. And they transform into this archetype, the awkward mute. Imagine you're at a class reunion or an office party. Someone asks, what project are you working on these days? And you go silent, or you stammer, I can't say. It's a secret. Or you dodge clumsily with a serious face. You think you are being mysterious. Cool? No. In the eyes of others, you look suspicious or weird. Behavioral psychology shows that abnormal silence creates an information vacuum, and human instinct hates a vacuum. When they don't know what you're doing, they fill that gap with the worst assumptions. Is this guy doing something shady? Is he arrogant? Or is he unemployed and too embarrassed to say? Instead of hiding, clumsy silence turns you into a thorn in everyone's side. You unintentionally turn a massive spotlight directly onto yourself. You wanted to be a ghost, but you became the center of scrutiny. Machiavelli teaches us, don't let others know who you are, but don't let them see you are hiding. The solution is not silence. The solution is a smokescreen. If you want to hide a treasure, don't build a massive fortress wall around it, because the wall screams, "There is gold here." Instead, build a dilapidated shack on top of that treasure. People will walk past without glancing twice. This technique is called the red herring, throwing a fake lure to distract the hounds. Machiavelli teaches us, don't block curiosity, redirect it. When someone asks, what plans are you hatching these days? Don't be silent, triggers suspicion. Don't tell the truth, triggers envy. Throw the hound of curiosity, a bone that is harmless, boring, and average. Here are tactical scripts you can use tomorrow morning at the office. Script 1, the corporate drone. They ask, any new projects lately? You say, man, I'm just wrestling with a pile of Excel sheets and quarterly reports. My eyes are blurring from the numbers, bored to death. Effect, you become harmless. Who envies a guy wrestling with Excel? They will pity you and walk away. Script 2, the homeowner struggle. They ask, what did you do this weekend? You seem secretive, when you were actually meeting investors. You say, secret? I wish. A pipe burst at my house. Spent the whole weekend dealing with expensive repairs, total headache. Effect, the story of losing money and hassle immediately extinguishes the fire of envy. No one guards against a guy having a bad time. Script 3, the Netflix binge, fake laziness. They ask, what do you do in the evenings when you are learning to code until 2 a.m.? You say, by the time I get home, I'm drained. I just lay there and binge Netflix to get through the day. I've been so lazy lately. Effect, you lower yourself to average. You give them the feeling they are harder working than you, and when they feel superior to you, you are absolutely safe. What are you doing here? You are satisfying their hunger for information with cheap junk food. It's tasty, easy to swallow, and most importantly, it makes them sleepy. When they smell average, they see nothing threatening their status. They will wag their tails in satisfaction and leave. At that moment, you return to your real work, in the dark. Maybe your conscience is twitching. Is doing this fake? Is it lying? Let stoicism adjust your moral compass. This is not cowardly deceit. This is strategic humility. Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. A Stoic doesn't need the halo of fame to feel he exists. Conversely, they find immense power in being underestimated. Let them think you are average. Let them think you are slow. Let them think you are harmless. Even let them think you are stupid. Why? Because when opponents or the envious think you aren't up to anything, they lower their shields. They get careless. They stop scrutinizing. They leave you a massive space to act freely. There is no camouflage safer than mediocrity. That is the best invisibility cloak you can wear in a society full of people who love to show off. When you accept letting your ego be eclipsed in the eyes of the world, that is when your actual power accumulates the strongest. Viktor Frankl reminds us of the last of the human freedoms, the right to choose one's attitude and preserve one's own inner world. Engrave this in your bones. You do not owe the world any explanation for your life. You are not a public square where anyone has the right to enter and rummage around. You are a private castle. Refusing to provide real information about your plans, that is not deception. That is setting boundaries. Society teaches you that keeping secrets is bad. That is a lie told by those who want to control you. They want you to be an open book so they can easily read you, easily judge you, and easily tear you out. The choice is in your hands. Become a cheap magazine in a waiting room that anyone can flip through and throw away, or become an ancient cipher that only you hold the key to decode. Understand the smoke screen correctly. You aren't throwing smoke to hurt others or for illicit gain. You are doing it out of love for your dream. Every great idea when first born is as fragile as a candle in the wind. Just one toxic breath of jealousy, one discouraged word of doubt, is enough to blow it out forever. Using a smokescreen is how you create a safe zone. You distract the crowd's attention to buy yourself the necessary peace. So your seed can germinate in the silent darkness, the only place it can grow. Don't let the harsh sun of judgment scorch it before its roots are deep enough. Concealment is an act of nurturing. Admit this truth. The fact that you know how to misdirect is not a character flaw. It is the Machiavellian instinct. Social morality teaches you to repress this instinct. They want you to be absolutely transparent. But Carl Jung warns, what you resist persists and controls you. If you deny your capacity for calculation, you don't become a good person. You become naive. And in the social order, the naive are always food for the predators. Here we need a cold integration of two great schools of thought. Machiavelli provides the tool. He points out that concealment and disinformation are neutral tools. It is like a knife. In the hands of a villain, it is a murder weapon. In the hands of a surgeon, it is a scalpel that saves lives. You must possess that knife. You must know how to use the smoke screen. Carl Jung provides the control. Shadow integration means you acknowledge, I have the capacity to be dangerous. I have the capacity to deceive. But instead of denying it, you use an iron will to keep that monster in a cage. It becomes your loyal guard dog. You only release it when your boundaries are violated, when your family is threatened, or when your dream is under attack. That is not cruelty. That is the power of self-preservation. Look straight at this fragile line. Many people fear psychological tactics because they think they are tools of the wicked. But the truth is, the nature of the tool lies in the hand of the holder. Machiavelli hands you the knife of concealment. In the hands of a killer, that knife takes life. But in the hands of a surgeon, that same knife cuts out a tumor and saves a life. You cannot become a great surgeon if you are afraid to hold a knife. Likewise, you cannot become the master of your life if you are afraid to use silence and strategy. This is the core distinction between a manipulator and a sovereign mind. The difference lies not in skill. Both know how to hide cards. The difference lies in purpose. The manipulator hides cards to trap, exploit, and control others out of greed. And you hide cards to establish a protective perimeter for the values you are building. You hide cards to protect your freedom, your peace, and the seeds of success germinating within you. Don't strive to be harmless. A harmless person is not a good person. They are just a weak person, incapable of doing anything else. Strive to be dangerous but disciplined. Dangerous here means you have competence, you have claws, you have intellect, you have the ability to strike back. But discipline means you choose to keep that sword in its sheath. You only draw it to protect, never to invade. That is the pinnacle of maturity and responsibility. Imagine this moment. This is why you endure the silence. You are not silent to hide. You are silent to prepare for the grand reveal. The cheap satisfaction of bragging, I'm about to do this, only lasts 5 minutes. But the power of showing up with the result in hand, that is eternal. Think of the feeling when you walk into the meeting room, not with a draft idea, but with a finished product that has revenue. Think about the freedom when you don't need to ask anyone for advice, because you already possess the result. Silence buys you laser focus. Focus brings you mastery, and mastery brings you the thing no one can take away: financial freedom and negotiating power. When you unleash your achievement, the surprise will silence every whisper of doubt. That isn't just success, that is dominance. That is the worthy reward for the days you silently forged yourself in the dark. Before we end, remember the reminder of Emperor Marcus Aurelius on the battlefield. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Apply this to our game. Don't waste time explaining how talented you will be. Don't waste time proving how hard you are trying. Let the result be your only voice. A king does not need to scream, "I am the king." His presence itself is the answer. To close, burn this ultimate law into your mind. Your power is directly proportional to what you keep and inversely proportional to what you say. This world is noisy because it is full of weak people starving for attention. Your silence, from this second on, will be your weapon, your shield, and your throne. And here is your first practice assignment. When this video ends, you will feel an urge to share it, to discuss it with someone. Don't. Keep this knowledge for yourself. Make it the first secret in your arsenal. Turn off your device, step into the darkness, and begin building your empire in absolute silence. Welcome back to control. This is the sovereign mind.